The smartest people are from Florida, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. We begin tonight with this news. Bombshell new developments for James Comer's investigation into the possible Biden family syndicate or enterprise, if you live in Georgia, if you prefer. Very real allegations of bribery and money laundering. We have a lot of new details tonight. Any of you ever hear of a guy named Robert L. Peters? Anyone know that name? Anybody? Raise your hand. You do? Okay. According to documents we have uncovered from the National Archives and emails retrieved from zero-experienced Hunter Biden laptop, Robert Peters appears to be a pseudonym for your president, Joe Biden. When he was using as vice president to conduct official government business, Biden likely trying to hide these communications from prying eyes or public records requests. Now the chairman of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, James Comer, is now demanding that the National Archives turn over all documents and communications featuring Robert Peters and two other pseudonyms that were used by Joe Biden. Now Comer is especially interested in emails that included Hunter Biden and two of his closest business partners, Devon Archer and Eric Shadwearing. Chairman Comer is also requesting drafts from Biden's 2015 speech to the Ukrainian parliament. Hunter's business email was CC'd on numerous documents sent by Robert L. Peters, including two emails involving Ukraine. It looks like the big guy was possibly sending drafts of his speech to the Ukrainian parliament to his son Hunter, who at the time we know was addicted to drugs and had no experience in Ukraine energy or oil. Now very strange to say the least. At the very same time, Hunter was getting paid big bucks to serve on that oil giant in Ukraine, known as Burisma. That is the oil and gas company. We all know his background. He has none. With all the other suffering that he had from his addictions, how is he capable to make all these million-dollar deals in a business that he had no background or experience in? That's a great country if you have a great job and can grab that one. The owner of Burisma reportedly thought, according to the 1023 form, that he believed that Hunter Biden was stupid and that his dog was smarter than Hunter. And don't forget, I didn't say it, the guy said it. His father, Joe Biden, claims to have no involvement at all whatsoever. He never once discussed with his son, Hunter, his brother, Oregon. Anyone else for that matter, the foreign business deals. The timeline we are about to show you suggests otherwise. Let's start. The date, December 4th, 2015. Hunter is in Dubai, and he is with the bosses at Burisma. At that point, they are putting a lot of pressure on Hunter and his business partners that they need to call DC. They need help from DC to address pressure that the company was facing. According to testimony from Devon Archer, quote, they requested that Hunter help them with some of that pressure. Archer said, quote, government pressure from the Ukrainian government investigation. 5 days later, exactly 5 days later, December 9th, same year, 2019. Then Vice President Joe Biden was in Ukraine. How convenient. That's where he delivered remarks to the Ukrainian parliament. This was a speech carefully crafted to put pressure on the government to take action against individuals who Biden deemed corrupt. Take a look. Whoa. It's not enough to set up an anti-corruption bureau and establish a special prosecutor to fight corruption. The office of the general prosecutor desperately needs reform. The judiciary should be overhauled. The energy sector needs to be competitive. No sweetheart deals. It's not enough to push through laws to increase transparency regarding official sources of income. Senior elected officials have to remove all conflicts between business interest and the government responsibilities. Every other democracy in the world, that system pertains. The irony is on that very same day after that speech on December 9th, 2015, hours before returning to the US, Joe Biden, that is the moment we got him on tape bragging about. That's when he leveraged $1 billion US tax dollars in loan guarantees to force Ukraine to fire a prosecutor and get rid of him out of office. The prosecutor was the very guy that was investigating not only Burisma, the oil giant, but also his son and his son's company for corruption. And son of a Gassiyad, they fired him. I am leaving here in 6 hours. If that prosecutor is not fired, you are not getting money, son of a bee. He got fired. According to Archer, this kept the doors open at Burisma, or they thought they would go bankrupt for a few more years. Hunter benefited from that firing because he continued to get paid. In other words, Biden family enrichment. Like the 1023 form, official actions as vice president resulting in money for the Biden family for a guy that was addicted to drugs and had no experience. Does that make sense to anybody? Does that sound like Joe never talked to Hunter or anybody for that matter about the foreign business dealings? A few months later, we are in May of 2016. Hunter's business account was included on a government email to Robert L. Peters about an upcoming Biden phone call with the Ukrainian president. 8:45 a.m. prep for phone call with the president at the time. Hunter Biden was the only person said on the email. Why would he be telling his son about a discussion with the Ukrainian president? Keep in mind, this is not a one-off incident. There are pictures of Joe Biden hanging out with numerous of Hunter's foreign business partners, dinners at Cafe Milano, one case with the former First Lady of Moscow, a Russian oligarch, $3.50 million in business she did with the Hunter Biden company, and later $120 million investment in the real estate division. Over 20 phone calls, Devon Archer testified to the House Oversight Committee with Hunter and his son's foreign business partners, and a shakedown. What is that message you might recall between Hunter and a Chinese business partner? Remember the one I'm sitting here with my father, and would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Hunter continued, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person that he knows, and my ability to hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father. A few days later, Hunter received a generous $5 million wire from these very same Chinese business partners in the oil business yet again. Hunter's lawyers say that message is fake. Congressman Calmer will join us in a minute and says that is called evidence. That experience, that evidence shows that Joe Biden and the Biden brand, as Devon Archer called it, was for sale, and that the brand wasn't Hunter. It was the big guy. It was the vice president of this country at the time, and apparently his family was getting paid one way or the other. The House Oversight Committee has identified 9 Biden family members that got money, including the grandkids. What did they do for that money? What did Hunter do for all these millions of dollars? In texts and emails, Hunter talked about having to fork over half his income to Pops. Biden was also reportedly allocating 10% a cut for the big guy in one of these deals. Hunter worked closely with the company's business manager to pay large, very specific sums of money to pay for Joe's home repairs. And on this issue, breaking this week, a newly uncovered 2018 text from Hunter complaining, quote, my dad has been using most lines of my account, which through the gracious offerings of Eric Swearingen have paid for the past 11 years. In other words, Joe is getting his cut. Eric was Hunter's main business partner in this lucrative deals, including with China. This does not look good for Joe Biden, who is not present, or should I say Robert Peters. Guess what? It's about to get a lot worse as Cummer's investigation continues. By the way, without a diversion agreement,